Uh,
I'm gonna stay off video though, because I don't want to be in a
yeah,
recording.
no. um, yeah. So like right off the bat, how's like business been for you? Like, are you a freelance? Do you do like freelance work, or are you part of like a production company?
So right now I'm both. So I've always been freelance ever since like 2009. Graduated in '06, so it took a couple years. But I've always done freelance on the side just because I love to like get creative and get paid for it. And then additionally, I love to get paid for shit that I don't really believe in, you know? So it's
Yeah,
like a
yeah,
balance. Like it's always good to have the option to freelance, but I've never felt like I wanted to only freelance because there's just not a lot of job security. And
right, right.
like I come from a family that doesn't do creative things for a living, so like they kind of instilled that aspect of like seriousness into me. So currently I'm working as the senior producer and director for the Warriors, Golden State Warriors. So
Mm. Oh, that's sick.
yeah, so it's like a production, it's like the Golden State Warriors production company.
So you
Um
do, like ads and stuff for like.
yeah, like really just like yeah, like there's all sorts of commercial things for advertising games, or we do a bunch of features. Like if you go to the Warriors YouTube, you'll see like in sports productions they do a lot of mini documentaries and
Hmm.
little and right
Um,
now everybody's like super woke, so we do a lot of like social justice awareness
oh, that's
thing.
cool.
Yes, Joe.
Um, did you always like going into your profession? Did you want to lean towards more filming, more for sports and like that
Actually,
kind of thing, or did you want to do more like big time studio like productions?
yeah, I don't like sports.
Oh,
I
you
was
don't like sports?
nah, I was like a nerd. I was a skater and like a nerd and like
Oh, you're a
you know,
skater? I skate too.
yeah, bro. I was fucking diehard skater since I was 11. I was all about it until I got too old and the consequences of
Yeah, yeah. Um,
sets aren't the same anymore.
um, oh, so like going back to your parents, were your parents on board with you? Like, okay, actually, bring it back a little bit more. What did you do outside of high school? Or like,
Well, so you know, since I was a little kid, I wanted to. I'll kind of answer all these questions for you. Since I was like 6 or 7, as long as I can remember, I didn't want to make movies or want to be a filmmaker. I just felt like it was what I was gonna do. It's hard to explain. It's like I obviously wanted to because it's fun, and like anybody who's interested in like movies and shit, they're like, oh, that'd be cool to make them. But for
right.
some reason, I just had this like feeling like I could do it and like I would, and
Hmm.
it just kind of happened, you know. Like I obviously put a lot of work into
Yeah.
it, so it's kind of something I always wanted to do, and I never knew what else I could do.
Hmm.
I just always felt like I didn't know what else I could do, you know. 'Cause I wasn't like a super intelligent. I'm intelligent, but I wasn't like a book smart kid, you know. I
Yeah.
didn't do great in school. I was kind of like an ADD. Uh, you could say I was kind of like a class, you know. I was like trolling in
Yeah,
classes and
no, I'm kind of the same way. My grades aren't stellar. I have mostly B's and C's.
which is really, I mean, like, maybe don't listen to me when I say this, but it's kind of all you need. Like, you know, I mean, I don't know, like, school and testing and college, they don't necessarily like gauge your intelligence and skills. It's more so just like discipline. But like, really, when it comes down to it, like, hyper creative people are disciplined in a different way, you know. So
Mhm.
I mean, like, yeah, I feel you. I got like C's and D's and like maybe a B or two. I was like not doing great in school, but I excelled in this realm
Right,
because
right.
it
And
was what I was
that's why
interested.
I'm leaning towards more of this profession too, because for me, I'm planning to go like JC, like junior college, and hopefully transfer to like a 4 year with a good film program, just so I can get that hands-on experience with just like equipment and how a production runs and stuff like that. Because I like team, like collaborating. I feel like I work best in that.
where
Yeah,
everybody
that's
has
like
to
kind of my
go.
steps. That's how I want to do it. Like, how did you
So
like
I
out of
mean,
high school?
so basically, like I mean, like I got really lucky. I mean, I it's hard to explain, you know, it's weird. Like in the industry, it's like there's no like sure way, you know,
Right.
there's no like single path, which is cool, which is a good thing and a bad thing. Because it's a good thing in the sense that like anyone can do it if you just try and you're like in the right place at the right time and you're like
Yeah.
social with the right people. But then the downside is like it could also just be really hard, you know,
Mhm.
depending on
Really hard, meaning like to
just
find a job just within the
well,
industry.
it's like so competitive, bro. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
and I don't mean like competitive, like we're all competing with each other. I just mean like, for example, at the Warriors, like I was one of like 2,500 applicants
Wow.
for my one job. So it's like
For
it
just that one position?
for the role I currently am in. So it's like, yeah, it's kind of like there's a certain amount of luck that goes into it, but if you try really hard and you have good relationships with people, you can do anything. So the
Mm,
way it worked for me was like, you know, I didn't really understand it because it's like a career that like eludes you, you know? Like
mhm.
when you're a kid, you hear about, you're like, oh, they fucking drove to LA and
Yeah,
with
you know, just
dollars in their pocket and now they're
yeah.
Spielberg or some shit.
Yeah, like that dollar in a dream type thing, you know.
Yeah, so like you're always kind of like, oh, I guess you just show up and maybe it works. It's hard to figure it out. And then
Yeah,
the other option is like, well, like, yeah, film school, right? Like 4 year degree and
yeah.
bachelor's in media or whatever the fuck the degree is. But then it's like it's hard to do that. So
Yeah,
for me,
there's as much like as an extent you get with that degree, then it comes like, just
so I'm,
getting lucky because
I'm
it is a really tricky business.
oh for sure.
Yeah.
And I wanted to go straight into Academy of Arts. I wanted to go to art school right out of high school, but I mean, you know, I mean, like Mr. Bravo, Bravo is your teacher, right?
Yeah, he told me about all of your stuff. I
Oh,
like
really?
I
Yeah.
watched your reel. Like it was
Oh,
cool.
did he tell you about my friend Jordan too at all?
Mm-mm. I think he was only named because I told him what I wanted to like do and like what I wanted to talk about. I said I want to be a cinematographer, and he's like, "Oh yeah, my student Kevin from a while back, like
Yeah,
he's
bro,
doing
that
films."
was
So, yeah.
a cool dude. So I actually had a homie that I grew up with. We were skater bros, and we'd make skate videos and shit. And both of us ended up trying to get into this out of school, and we both ended up working together, and it was pretty sick. It worked out. We got lucky. But basically, my journey was I wanted to go into art school, but my parents were broke as shit. You know, like I wasn't from like a wealthy family. And also, Bravo could probably tell you, maybe he forgot, but I got in a lot of trouble in high school.
Hmm.
I almost got expelled.
Jeez.
I got hella trouble. Not necessarily doing bad things, but like my, you know, like my
When you get caught
parents
up with some,
was rebellious and shit. You know, my parents, they were like, dude, we're not gonna spend 100 grand on you to go fuck off in college and like
yeah, I feel that. I know.
not take
That's,
you not take it seriously. So they were like, you can go to you know, community college and get your AA, and then we'll transfer you over if you can take it serious because it's a big deal, especially back
yeah.
in 2006. It was like less. It was still before the boom of everyone doing this. So
Mhm.
like colleges were like hard to get into, and they were really serious.
Mhm.
Now it's like there's all sorts of fucking kids going to school for film.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
so I was going to community college, and I just really wasn't like getting a lot of opportunities. Also, this at this time, like technology wasn't quite there. Like the iPhone had just came out, so
Mm.
not everybody and like digital cameras weren't quite there. Like
Right. Right.
Canon barely hadn't even made the 5D yet. So like having like an affordable tools was like kind of out of the question.
Uh-huh.
And I was also kind of interested in engineering audio. I wanted to do music, but that was kind of a dying career too. So, anyways, at some point, I get my AA and I'm taking classes to transfer into the Academy of Art. And
Mm.
my buddy Jordan, who was doing a bunch of freelance producing because he's just a little wizard. He fucking got a contract with Marvel. It was like a $2 million contract to start like a small studio and do post production.
Oh wow.
So he was like, "Bro, I made it." He was like, "I did it. Let's pull this off." So he convinced me to drop out of college and not go to art school because he was at Expression College and he was like, "Fuck this, I don't need this. Like, I got the work right here." And I was like, "All right, let's go for it," because I honestly didn't think my parents could afford it anyways.
Yeah.
So we did a whole bunch of post production on all the Marvel movies, and I was supervising and producing VFX and
Which project? Just curiosity. Which projects did you work on?
phase 1 through 3. So basically,
Oh wow.
like, yeah, like it's like 20 movies or something.
Yeah. No, that's a lot.
Yeah, it was basically like 4 to 6 years of that, and we were like, and after a couple years of it, both of us, I loved cinematography, just like you, and he was like a director, so it's like that was like our
It
team.
fit perfectly.
'Cause you gotta align, right? It's hard.
Yeah, you have to, especially with that's
Like
like
if
your
both people want to be a camera person, it's kind of a conflict of interest. But unless you're just really good at collaborating. But anyways, yeah. So we were like, fuck it, let's do some commercial work, and we got into commercial work, and yeah, we just pulled it off, man. It's
Wow. Then
yeah,
again, it's that luck, like you said, like to
and
get
just hard work, putting it out there. Like I constantly, it's what I wanted more than anything. And that's what I tell a lot of people, especially because we have people who, like, for example, there's always PAs, right? And like
Mhm.
interns or whatever, like paid.
Yeah, people that just bring you scripts and like coffee and shit.
Yeah, like whatever, like do edits and they work their way up. And
Yeah.
like at the studio, I'm kind of the more experienced person there. So they always have me do these like mentorship classes. And the one thing I tell everybody, I'm just like, look, no matter what, the only way you're going to do good is if you really, really, really want to. It's not about how cool your shit is. It's not about any one thing other than just really like wanting it. Like if you're like me and like you keep getting caught up on it mentally and you're like, how am I going to do this?
Yeah, I've like ever since I started my senior year, I've just been like, because everyone's pushing like, oh, what are you gonna do for your career? And I just like have a passion for this, but at the same time, it's like I don't want to say it just because, people's reactions like, oh, really? Like that's a tough industry to break into and like make a good living.
Yeah, but you know what? Like life is so fucking short, man. And like now more than ever, it's almost like, is any career like safe? You know?
That's true.
Like think about it. Like previously to pandemic world, it was like, oh, like work in like a trade or medical if you really
Mhm.
want to make, or some sort of tech thing.
Right.
Okay, well, like medical trades and all that stuff, that's super sketch. I mean, yeah, you'll make like 300 grand a year, but also you have to be high level academic to to do
Mm.
that. And when it comes to like tech stuff, I just tell people, I'm like, bro, like if you have to suggest to someone to be a coder, they're not going to do it because the type of people that do that, they're like about it. They're
Yeah.
like,
They know that they like it and they're not doing it as a job.
I think you should go for it.
Yeah.
I would say if you're going to college for it, I would say try to like get a degree in something business related
Yeah,
because
that's what I was kind of looking into too. Just like,
you can like studios, we don't care where you went to college or if you went to college. It does not matter. What matters is like how you interview and what your resume looks like.
right.
So like I tell people, like when you're going to college, like balance your major, minor, or whatever, balance your degree so that like it's something that's not like arts, it's like business. That
Right.
way, that end of things can help you because to be honest, like once you get in the door and you get your foot in the door as a, we'll say you said cinematographer,
Yeah.
I
Honestly, cinematographer is like a dream position, but like any like, I know a lot of people in the industry start off as something and end up a totally different.
well, yeah, you always start doing PA work, right?
Uh-huh.
And then maybe you do like some camera assisting or some grip.
Yeah, like camera operator or
But
something.
but for me, I kind of went straight into the cinematography,
Huh.
but I also did like assistant camera. Like I would help DPs, and then I
Right,
got to
right, right.
I was like, okay, I could for sure do this. But like it's totally doable. But like understanding business and understanding dealing with clients and invoicing and all
Mm,
the business end of things like taxes and whatnot, that is what will make you most successful. Because for example, once you get enough clients and your goal is no longer to like get clients, but it's to like make a living and buy a house and shit, like being able to do your taxes is super important. And
I know.
and just like within the studio structure, like for example, like a director of photography or a director, like as a cinematographer, which is the same thing. Uh, but for example, I just did a shoot yesterday. It was like a $60,000 camera department cost, and that's something that that's a huge part of the job is budgeting. And
Right, right.
like I'll create a spreadsheet and I'll hire anywhere from 5 to like 12 people to be camera and lighting because the cinematographer is responsible for the lighting, the grip, the camera, um, even like set design and stuff. Like they take on a lot of things. So understanding spreadsheets and the business end of things and just how all that works and interpersonal communications and business communications actually kind of helps you more. Because if you got a good eye for visuals from like a filming perspective, like you can't teach that.
Yeah.
Like you got it or you don't or you grow it. And everyone's got it. It's just a matter of being confident. Like
Mhm.
someone's gonna like your shit no matter what.
Yeah,
Half the stuff people love isn't even my favorite. People are like, oh, that's so dope. And I'm like, yeah, that's chill. And then the thing I'm like, bro, look at this. People are like, oh, that's cool. Like they don't see it.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, like for me, the only videos I really made are just me and my homies just skating, and
That's
like,
all you can do.
yeah, and I don't know, I just feel like because I do want to go to film school, but I'm also reading a bunch of shit where it's like it's not like you could learn that shit on YouTube or like,
Exactly.
you
Like the
know,
one the one thing film school may help you with is like access to equipment.
exactly. Yeah, that's what I want because I want to be able to use those big cameras and like understand how a set like it runs.
Which is sick. And honestly, like if that's what you're passionate about, you should do it. And you should just take it hella serious and just try to like I said, like try to compete in a sense. Like just take it super serious and just like live and breathe it. Like, bro, I remember when I was 20, like 19 and 20, kind of like right, actually maybe like 17, 18, like right before I got hired. And I like to have a good time, but like everybody was always wanting to go out. And there were plenty of times where I would just stay behind. I'm like, no, you guys, like, we all went out and drank and smoked last night. Like, I'm gonna just chill and like watch some movies and peruse YouTube and look for behind the scenes things and tutorials. Like,
Mhm.
I spent so much time doing that when everybody would give me a hard time and they'd be like, oh, like, come out. Like, why don't you? Oh, Kevin doesn't want to come out. And like, it even affected a lot of my relationships with people because it was like, oh, he doesn't want to hang out, he's doing his thing. And then even when I started to do it and get into it, like a lot of my homies weren't into, actually like only two of them were into like filmmaking, and they went out to college in the East Bay, so I never saw them.
Mm,
So it was like I was alienated,
right.
but then I started getting paid. Then I started working for Marvel or the Warriors or the Niners or the Giants when they did the championship, and Google and BMW, Facebook, you know, uh, platinum selling rock bands, Little Wayne or whatever, whoever. And then all of a sudden people start being like, oh man, you're so lucky. Like your job is so cool. Your career is so interesting. I'm like, bro, like I was like, I just been in love with this shit. Y'all were out fucking around, you know?
Yeah.
So like I would just think about that, man, because if you love it and if you think about it more than you think about most things other than like girls and whatnot, or whatever your romantic interest is, then I think it'll work out for you, bro.
Yeah, because I watch just so much like making ofs and just like behind the scenes of just how movies are made. Because I love movies and shit and just the process. So I feel
Yeah,
like with my passion, and my willingness to learn, I feel like I can excel. But
it's totally doable, bro. Just get involved with as much stuff as possible. And it's cool now because because like Instagram and social media is like really popping. So
Mm,
it's, I mean, like, just literally offer to help people that are dope. Like, you see someone on online who posts sick content, you
mhm.
just like, yo, I'm down for the cause. I'll help. Let me know what's good. You know, maybe be like, yo, just feed me lunch and I'll do whatever you want, and just get out there. Cause
Yeah,
you'll be surprised, bro, how many high profile people will just like say fuck it and be like, yeah, this fucking kid wants to, like, yeah, tell him to come through. Like, let's see what he's all about. And then you just kind of show up and they're like, yo, carry this shit. And then they're like, and then they'll talk to you about something and like, you know, they're like, oh, I like his passion. Or they're like, oh, this kid knows something. Like, he's
yeah.
clever, you know, like, hit him back and shit like that. Like, then you see how it happens, because
Mm,
seeing it in person and like witnessing it, like you said, like the set or whatever, the crew,
yeah,
that's what really informs you. And just being there and being around it. And then there's like, especially if you're on like a music video thing or like a fashion thing, like more of a low budget thing that's like
right.
other people that are still trying to kind of get into that space where they're like really doing it for a living.
Mhm.
And all those people are doing the same thing you're doing. So it's like, yo, oh, what's up? I'm Kev. Yeah. Oh shit, you're doing something next week. Oh, you need a thing. And then eventually someone's like, you know, oh, I need a like, yo, I'm trying to do this thing, but I can't film. And you're like, I got you.
Mhm.
And then now you've got that, and you're like, all right. Now you're sending that video to people like, yo, I filmed this. Like, if you ever need an operator, let me know. Like, I got you. Because what's gonna happen is when you get into the realm of productions where, let's say, like $5,000-$10,000 budgets, like a little rap video, right?
Mhm.
A little music video, like the director's getting paid to do it, and it's expensive to make a video, so they're always trying to do it the most affordable way. So
Mhm.
you end up being like, yo, I got you. Like, I've got the skills. Clearly, I've done a few videos and it looks dope. I'll do your video for free. And they're like, hell yeah. I'm giving this kid his first, you know, actual artist music video, and then I don't got to pay him $1,000. So
Yeah.
I'm saving that money. So it becomes like this kind of barter system. And then
Mm,
eventually you get to the point where you're just like, yo, this is what it costs. And if they don't have it, you're like, fuck it, I don't need it because I got work coming, you know?
yeah.
I think you could pull it off, and definitely keep me in the loop, because hopefully over the next year or two, as things change,
Yeah.
uh, this fucking pandemic,
Yeah.
there's,
I,
there's
I
always
think
opportunities, bro. There's always opportunities.
it is a lot of just like networking too in general, huh? Like just talking to people and just exchanging information,
Yeah,
seeing.
bro.
Yeah.
And if you study it, that's what I was saying too, is like, if you're always looking at tutorials or you're always looking at behind the scenes, or like for me, interviews with directors, cinematographers,
Mm-hmm.
and like, you know, looking at gear, because that stuff's interesting too. It gives you things to socialize with and find commonalities with other people on set. Like, for example,
Mm-hmm.
we're kind of talking about cinematography because you're into it and I'm into it. So like, what are you into? Like, what you like, music videos or movies or TV, commercial, docu? What is it? Just whatever. What are you into? What's your
Oh,
favorite?
you're asking. Oh, sorry about that. Yeah. Well, like in terms of like movies, I guess is what I look at most.
Yeah,
Um,
same.
just because I feel like with projects that big and telling those stories that are like over 90 minutes, and just to tell that through like just the camera, through just mood and lighting, it's super interesting.
You
Uh,
should write this down. Look at the cinematographers roundtable on YouTube,
oh, I
because
watch those. Yeah, I've always
oh,
watched those roundtable like discussions with
oh,
like
you're ahead of the curve then.
directors and like actors and stuff. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because I
Those
hear
are
you
super
talking about,
interesting.
because that's the thing too, is like a lot of cinematographers and directors that are coming up, especially in the Bay Area,
Hmm.
don't tell stories with the camera. They just want to do hype shit, you know?
Yeah.
They're like, oh, look at these dope light tubes, bro. I saw this sick ass music video on YouTube and I want to recreate this thing. They're not like, how do I convey this scene with
Right.
the
It's about
camera?
experimenting with different shit and like,
I would say just
working
keep.
on your craft.
You should go for it, bro. Fuck it. Like, what do you have to lose? Like, my thing was like, I just didn't want to look back and be like, oh man, I should have tried. You know, while I'm like an electrician or something weird. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd rather be in a, working towards a job that will make me happy and, where I'd work efficiently, I'd say, than just like getting a fucking desk job or,
And
something that pays good that I'm not happy with.
it's hard to get paid for sure, but I mean, I make 160,000 a year, and I don't do shit. I just make film making, and I film things, and I probably smoke more weed than I should, and oh, so it's like, I mean, it's doable, bro. Like, it's totally doable. You just have to be hella committed. You have to like want it so bad,
Yeah.
but it's totally doable, bro. Like, you could do it. I mean,
Would you say moving to more like film-based locations like LA, Atlanta, or like New York or something, would you say
what's
that would
interesting?
open more doors?
That's an interesting question, and I would say that the doors are open based off of how bad you want to open them. And
Hmm.
if you're the type of person that's willing to go to LA or go to New York or Atlanta or, you know, Austin for work, specifically to network, I would say your head's in the right space and it doesn't really matter where you go. It just shows that I mean, like that's the eternal question, man. Is LA? Is it LA or the Bay? Do you go where do you follow work or do you live where you want to live? I lived in LA, I hated it. And I came back to the Bay and I'd make more money if I lived in LA for sure. So I would say try it out. See what happens in LA. The problem is right now in the pandemic, it's almost as if all those rules are out the door now because it's no longer about LA is like a LA is not a good place to be right now. Like studios are going out of business, people are getting fired left and right. Like it's and New York like was a great place for young filmmakers, but I mean like geez, New York's worse than
Yeah.
LA.
Yeah, it's even like just lifestyle. Like, can I handle that lifestyle? Being away from where I'm so comfortable in.
For me it was like I always wanted to move to LA. And
I
then I
feel like
got to
that's
LA
like
and
like young filmmakers' dream.
yeah, it's like the magic thing. I wanted to be a filmmaker. I wanted to be in the movies, you know.
Mhm.
Like, that was my thing. Like I'm huge on David Fincher and Stanley Kubrick, Christopher Nolan and James Gillian. Just like I love filmmaking. I watch at least one movie basically every day. And I've actually never made a short film or anything. And it's just because it's really hard to get
Mhm.
it.
Does
Um,
does your film reel, like, I feel like everyone has a reel, especially like,
my
you know,
reel is
but
like
do businesses look at that extensively and kind of judge you off your like film reel?
yes, yes and no. In the end, for example, if you want to be on the production side, the principal photography side, principal, there's pre-pro, principal, and post. So if you're going to be a camera operator or a cinematographer or a director of photography or a director, you're going to have some sort of reel. Someone's going to want to be like, has he done something that looks good? You
Right.
know, and sometimes they'll depending on like the how high profile the piece is, like how important it is, they may then look at how cool your reel looks and then also how high profile those pieces were.
Mm.
Like if you've never worked with a celebrity and this is like with Steph Curry or like fucking Kamala Harris or something, like
Mhm.
probably not going to get hired until they can see, okay, clearly he's been around high profile people and didn't fuck up. And
Right.
like, you know,
Hmm.
but that being said, like, don't let that discourage you
Yeah.
because literally, in order to get a reel, you have to build a reel that's kind of like not as good as you want it to be, like that's the nature of the game.
Yeah.
So I would say your reel and your resume are more important than anything because, like I said, I don't have a degree, um,
Hmm.
and I mean I have an AA, but I
Yeah.
don't have my film degree. because I
Wait,
just
did you go? Sorry to cut you off, but did you go straight from Community to getting that gig at Marvel, or like, wow?
and then I just never looked back because after 5 years, the VFX industry actually crashed in like 2015,
Oh,
14,
really?
and
How so? Like,
it was like the Great Depression of visual effects. Because what happened was, I'll try to make it a short story, but basically, with the advancement of technology and the internet and servers, work started to get outsourced
hmm,
to third world countries like India or Malaysia or like even place, like they would um Thailand or whatever. They would so for example, like what's the best example? Spider-Man. The Spider-Man, the second actor, not the new Spider-Man, not the Tom Holland one, but the other one.
Garfield?
Yeah, Garfield.
Yeah.
Um, that film, they had like 5,000 shots that needed to be converted into 3D,
Oh shit.
and they sent like 4,000 of them to India. And so we were getting paid like $45 an hour to do this work,
Huh.
45 to like $60 an hour. And then once they started outsourcing it, they were outsourcing it for like 25 cents an hour. So that fucked with all the rates.
Oh,
Because all of a sudden they were like, okay, well, like, can we outsource it? Can we not? And it became this big thing. And then all visual effects people went on strike because
so that
that
really felt production.
yeah, it ruined everything
Yeah.
for post. Also, I didn't like post, but so at that time, the studio we worked for went bankrupt and it closed after 5 or 6 years. And we were all like, "Oh my god, what do we do?" We didn't think about that. And I was like, "Oh Jesus, I don't have a degree. Like I'm screwed." Like I just dropped out of school like 5 years ago. What am I going to do? And it was like, should I go back to school or should I just keep going? And it was tough, bro. Like I'm not gonna lie, there was a few years where I was like, "Oh man, I messed up. I should have got that degree."
Yeah.
But at this point, I've surpassed the need for that
Hmm.
because my portfolio and my resume is just like a degree. It's just
Yeah,
irrelevant.
you have the necessary experience, that people look for.
I always tell people, I say go to college, like just do it. Like if your parents can afford it and like you're not gonna have to pay them back, just go for
Yeah.
it. Because
I
it'd be hella fun.
more just trying to convince them, of
Yeah,
like what I want to follow and pursue. Which, I feel like I can convince them, but I don't know. It's just what I like.
I know it's tough, bro. It's tough because it's not like what do your parents do for a living?
My mom just got a job at Google maybe last year. She does something, I don't know. And then my dad works for Infor, which I think
Info where?
Infor. It's like like on the Warriors jerseys, like they're the team they're sponsored by.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So my dad just does like system analysis. He deals with like servers and shit. So
Okay, yeah. So your dad's like a techie dude, like a
oh yeah,
server.
he's a very tech guy.
So there you go. Like that's tough because with them, it's like that realm is kind of there's like a path that people can see. Like if you understand a server farm and how to, manage the physical server space and also operate the interface systems and whatnot, then you can work at a law firm, you can work at a hospital, you can work at a big tech company, you can do anything.
Mhm.
But I would argue to anybody who thinks that filmmaking is a dangerous path, it's actually changing. Right now, social media is like taking over the whole world. And it's not a good thing, but it is a good thing if you want a job in content because now every tech company has a studio and it's going to keep being that way. Golden State Warriors, it's a basketball company. We have like 30 people in our studio. We have like 15 editors, two producers, one director, two cinematographers. So it's like these people, they don't get paid as much as me or the directors or the EP, but they're making like 75, 80 grand a year with benefits. And they're like 20, they're like 23 and 25,
Huh.
and you get like employee meals and shit. Like it's a decent career. Like you can get like in the state of California, they have to pay you 55K to give you a salary. And based off the new hourly laws and stuff, basically companies are just hiring people on salary for 50 or 60 grand,
Huh.
which is not great. It's definitely not great, But dude, if you're trying to get into filmmaking, like
That's the
shit, that'll
perfect.
pay rent with the roommate, you know, like you need to make like 90 grand to really like have your own apartment. But
Yeah.
like if you're like the only child at all, yes,
No, I have like, well, because my parents are divorced, so I have like four younger siblings, which
with
are like they're all under the age of like 12. So
and they're on like they're with one parent basically.
yeah.
And do you live with the parent that just has you?
Well,
You
I kind of switch off.
well,
Like,
it sounds like you've got a place to stay, and
yeah.
they're not tripping off you
Oh
moving.
yeah, my parents are definitely like,
There you
I'm
go.
Filipino, and Filipinos are very like family oriented. So yeah, like my I'm in my grandparents' house right now.
Oh,
My mom actually lives with my grandma.
oh,
So
nice.
yeah,
There you go. So then you're good, bro. Go to college, apply to every fucking tech spot, every spot, while at the same time trying to hustle on the side because you love filmmaking.
yeah,
You want to like maybe try to make some short films or like I said though, bro, don't ever underestimate the power of a random DM. You would be shocked at how many crazy ass jobs I got on just because the person was like, fuck it, I need an extra hand. This random person happened to offer their help to me. Like, you'd be surprised how quick that turns into like, oh, wow, like this kid is above average, you know? Because a lot of people on these sets are just kind of dumbasses.
hmm. Like dumbasses, like they don't take the job seriously, or they're just unfamiliar with like.
More interested in telling people that they're like more interested in doing it than doing it right. You know, like how do I say like everybody's like trying to post stories of the camera package and like they're like trying to film what we're filming or
Hmm.
they're just like they're just not about it. Like there's just a vibe. There's people in our industry who get it and who are like on the level, like really really passionate about it and really take it seriously. And then there's like the other people that almost just enjoy being like a filmmaker, you know.
Mhm.
And it's very obvious on set, especially on lower end, more amateur productions and stuff. As you first start getting into it, it's really obvious. And
Hmm.
it's easy to click with people if you take it serious and you pay attention.
Right.
Especially like a DP or an operator or a director, because they really just need your help.
Yeah.
Like, that's really what it comes down to. I think you got a good vibe about you, bro. I think you could pull it off. If you're already looking into like Directors Guild interviews and roundtable interviews, and like you're
Oh yeah.
already,
I just watch that shit for fun. Like,
I'd say you're in the right direction because
yeah.
a lot of the people that I grew up with that were wanting to get into this stuff, like a lot of them don't do it anymore. You know, like
Hmm.
a lot of these dudes fell back on one's an electrician, like God rest his soul, he's fucking delivering pizza or something. You know, like a lot of people that want to be a filmmaker and they fail at it. And it's not because the industry chewed them up. It's just because they just didn't want it hard enough. They either didn't believe in themselves, you know, or they just didn't take it seriously.
Hmm.
Um, I've met a lot of cats that are really good, and I've been like, "Yo, apply." Like you wouldn't believe how many times I've told sent people an application link to the Warriors, and like, bro, like, apply. I see you making all these music videos, like, apply, bro. And they're like, I don't know if they'd hire me. I'm like, what are you fucking talking about, dude? Like, you film shit. Like, if you don't think it's good, try to convince someone it is. Like, don't give up on yourself, you know.
Yeah. I feel like just I don't know. I feel like the easiest way would be just to start off as a PA though. Would you agree? Like,
Don't think of it like your head's in the right space, but try to think outside the box. Don't think I start as this, then I become this. Think of it as your goal is to try to be selected for the role you want on any given project or for any given company. And depending on the job or company or project, that dictates like what you might be qualified for. So I would say, like, for example, offer to be a PA. And once you've done that a couple times, you'll be like, I feel like I could do more, you know. And then once you see it done, you know that you can tell someone to do it, because like like you can tell people, yo, like I'm a grip, or like I'm a good audio person, and they're like, okay, like are you? Like if you believe you are, like you could probably convince someone you are.
Mhm.
So I mean, start with a PA, like open with that,
Yeah.
and then once you get a few of those and you do a couple productions, you'll be there and you'll be like, and these other PAs suck. Like literally just bringing coffee. You're like, I for sure could help that camera guy.
Yeah.
And then you're like, yo, next time, like, you know, I'd like to do some camera assisting or some grip assisting. Like, let me, you know, like what assist the producer or something, you know,
Mhm.
and just keep working your way up and keep asking for things. I mean, I've been shut down a lot, you know. You get shut down a lot, but that's okay. Um, because in the end, most of the people that like didn't really give me the good opportunity. You know, like I'd be like, oh, I want to be the DP, and they'd be like, oh, you can help the DP. I'd
Mhm.
be like, oh, I could do it, and they're like, nah, I don't know, and they let someone else do it, and now it's like I had this one homie, he was a director. He was really cool. We're really good friends still, but he always let our other friend be the DP, and I always had to help, and it was so frustrating for so long, and
Frustrating
eventually
because you wanted to have that main
I
position.
was like, I was like, when's my turn? You know,
Right.
like he trusts this one guy, and I felt I was like, I feel like I could, like I'm as good as or better,
Mhm.
and but you know, from his perspective, he didn't think I was ready. And at some point, I just said, fuck it, and I stopped asking, and I started doing it with other people, and then they started saying yes, and now they're both asking me to do it for them, you know, and like they're like, there's no question about it, like they're like, hey, like, can he help you? And I'm like, yeah, okay, you know, because I would like, it is what it is, you know. So just don't just always keep grinding and keep going for it, you know. You seem like a serious guy for someone who's, well, you're 17.
Yeah, I'm 17. I'm just,
You're mature for your age, which is good, you know.
thank you. Thank you.
Um, yeah, start with PA. I mean, dude, if this wasn't a pandemic, I'd say hit me up when you're 18 and I'll bring you on set. But it's not that easy anymore.
Yeah.
Definitely keep me in the contacts or something. Follow me on Instagram or some shit. And
What's your Instagram?
yeah, I'll type it in here real quick. But yeah, I mean, dude, it's literally that easy.
I
Like,
appreciate that. I appreciate you just giving me some insight. This is, I missed my first career day last year because it was the week before, or it was the
yeah,
week after my school shut down. That's when it was scheduled. So like I never really had the chance to talk to anyone that was actually within the industry and shit like that, or just making movies. Even.
there's really not a lot. I mean, it's a rare thing. Like, I honestly, like, out of my graduating class and the class under me, I only know, I think only three of us are in this industry, and two of them are like my really close homies, and I work with them. They pay me a lot of money. So it's like, it's, yeah, I remember when we did career day, we did these tests where they would like, it was like this test that they would test you on, and then it would tell you like what job you'd be good at or something.
Mm-hmm.
And ironically, we all got the jobs that we're doing, but there was nobody to talk to us. There was no like, oh, like this guy used to teach now film shit. So it's cool
Hmm.
to be able to hook someone up like that, because I remember in high school I was like, bro, it's a mystery to me. I don't even know how I'm gonna crack this code.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, I have some friends too that, like my close friends that I always hang out with. We always just talk about movies and just future and like the movie business. Yeah.
There you go, bro. What are you
One of my
all?
friends is actually moving to LA after this summer.
You're thinking of moving together?
Nah, but he is. I think he just wants to get more opportunities. His parents are more on board with it, so they're willing to like send him to fucking LA and do shit. So
My homie, his family was super wealthy, like super wealthy, and It was just unreal the amount of opportunities that afforded. It was hilarious. He's like,
Mm.
yeah, fucking LA. And then he's like, oh, now I got an apartment in Emeryville, right next to the college, and they bought me this sick ass workstation, and now I've got the camera, and yeah. But don't let that's good that your home is going because you can visit.
Yeah.
Trust me, your friends. I would not be in a rush to move to LA right now. They're not really like there's not a lot of work for us right now. So I would say like focus on like things that are convenient for you, like
Mhm.
try to film some shit.
Yeah.
If you don't have a camera, see if you can use your phone. Just try. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe. I hate the idea of that though, like you want a camera, obviously. But
Yeah, like for me, I just shit. It sucks because I'm taking an art of video class right now, and we're just supposed to make short films and like PSAs and shit like that. And I've been just using my phone because I don't really have any
you should
real
see what
camera
my
equipment.
do you follow Andy too? Andy TL?
Mm-mm.
So my homie Andy, he does he's got cameras now, but look at his iPhone work. It's ridiculous. Like sometimes he posts a video and I text him. I'm like, bro, fuck you. Like, quit making stuff look so good with an iPhone, dude. Like,
Huh.
you're gonna ruin it for us. So I mean, like, if you've got the desire to make some pretty dope stuff, you can do it with the phone. And
Mhm.
like, it may not translate the way you want it to, but you'll at least have shot something, edited it, completed it, and you can look at it. And
Mm.
if you don't like it, you'll know what you did wrong. And if you do, you'll feel accomplished.
Yeah.
And just keep trying to collaborate with people. Like follow a bunch of music video people and a bunch of people that appear to be in the Bay Area. Follow Mac House Productions. Uh, follow Creative West. All those dudes are like the Filipino Brotherhood. It's hilarious. Those guys are awesome. And like you never know, that may give you a little edge, bro. Not gonna lie. Like just offer to help these dudes. Definitely Creative West. Um,
Great.
like
And they're a company? They're like a
it's an agency.
oh, it's an agency. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
and basically like these are all places that would most likely be more than happy to let you come on set for free and help because they would basically be charging the client for you and getting free work out of you and you'd be learning. So like that's you're gonna find that that's a lot easier than you want it to be.
Yeah. Telling
But at
you.
least then you'll be there and your next hurdle will be convincing people to pay
Mm.
you. But like stuff like that, like you'll get on set, or at least you'll see what they're up to, because those are Bay Area people,
Huh.
um, and they make a living doing this, and it just will give you inspiration and ideas, and
Yeah.
when you graduate, whatnot, offer to help, offer to intern, they'll probably
Yeah,
put you on.
I've been looking at a lot of just internships like film based in the Bay Area. Just hopefully maybe I could find something for the summer or even because I'm going to CSM next year. So
Yeah, bro.
um,
I mean, it's all here.
yeah,
It happens. It's easy to do. It's a lot easy. It's easy to like get your foot in the door. Trust me, bro. Like that's not gonna be
because
hard
there's
for you.
just so many like opportunities with just like these agencies and shit like that. Huh?
It's like I was saying, like every production is a budget, right? And someone's getting paid to create it. So the less they spend, the more they make. So people are always trying to haggle you down to get you there for cheaper. Because
Mhm.
usually in freelance, you get a day rate. It's not hourly. It's like, here's this much money for the day. And you'll be here anywhere from 6 hours to maybe 10 or 12 hours.
Huh.
Sometimes you get hourly, but usually it's a rate. It's a flat rate. And it can help. It can be good and bad. For example, like a PA, anywhere from 150 to $350 for around 6 to maybe 12 hours of work. Usually on average, it's around 9.
Hmm.
But you'd be surprised how fast a 12-hour day goes when you're like on a shoot. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's PA work. $350 for 10 to 11 hours of work is actually pretty good money.
Yeah.
That's decent. I want to say that's like 30 something dollars an hour. That's
And
like
that's
solid.
not good, right?
Yeah, and then like for like a cinematographer, like um for example, I hire like a camera operator for anywhere from like 400 to 800 for a day. And then like the lead camera operator, like if it's a production where I need a director of photography,
Mm.
director of photography starts at 1,000 and it goes up to like $2,500 for a day of work. Um, Director could be anywhere from 850 to, I mean, shit, $20,000 a day. I don't know.
Do those like prices different or like
Yeah.
change
It's
depending on like if you're shooting for a music video or commercial or
it's not categorized. There's no standardized like genre. It's more so based off of variable things like the budget in the project. Like obviously the money has to exist. First
Mm.
of all, the budget of the project dictates the value that everyone gets, no matter what.
Mm.
And then from there, it fluctuates based off of, things as simple as how close, like how homies you are, or how needed you are, or, like it's tough. It's tough. But it's usually like for a PA, it's like if you're getting paid, it shouldn't be less than $150. Otherwise, you might as well be doing it for free, I guess.
Yeah.
But like for example, like a DP, like if you want to hire somebody to be a cinematographer for let's say a commercial or like a music video, let's say a music video, because that happens all the time. If you're not getting paid $1,000, then I don't know. It's probably like, and I don't know. That's a tough one. I'd say like in that low budget, like amateur realm, like it's really just whatever that person thinks is right.
Yeah.
But like agency work, like Creative West and all these guys, like or like what I do, like cinematographer, like for me, like I'm not going to do it unless it's $1,000 for the day. Like I'm just not going to do it
Mm.
because unless it's like so obvious that it's like the easiest fucking thing ever. And
Yeah.
even then, like I have to be very careful because sometimes you sign on to these things that end up being a lot of work. Like I've gotten paid, let's see, like I got paid $2,500 for 9 hours of work for Nike. We did this Nike commercial and it was like I didn't touch a camera. I just told people what to do. It was super casual and like I felt like I was making it in the world. And then I've done like a 16-hour day where I was like asked to do all this shit I never thought I'd have to do, and I got paid like $500.
Wow.
Yeah, so you just gotta like you get better at like identifying these things, and it comes with the territory. But
Mm.
as you get better at it, you can put yourself in areas.
Yeah, you can put yourself in more of a position to benefit you, I guess, right?
Yeah, and like another thing too is like when you're starting out, like if you have a camera, like
Mm.
obviously you like if you've got like a decent video camera, like a little cine cam or something.
Mhm.
Well, if there's a director that doesn't have one, you're now somebody who has one, and that's gonna
Yeah.
help. Gear does help you a lot in the beginning, just because some people can't afford it. So if you got it, they'll give you a shot.
Right. That's an advantage already.
Yeah, like I got a job at this place called Borrow Lenses.
Mm.
It's San Carlos, and it's a camera rental place. So like a lot of people when they're going to college, they'll work at a camera rental house because you'll get like, I don't know, like $20 an hour to like just do bullshit at like some work, like it's just a 9 to 5. But the work is with super high-end cameras.
Mm.
And all the customers are professionals that do it for a living. So you're interacting and networking with all these people. You're becoming familiar with all this gear. And also, they usually let you rent and borrow stuff for the weekend,
Oh
like if
shit.
you want to do your own thing.
Is that
And
what you did?
Yeah, I did that so hardcore. Oh my God. I was like, I was so bad. I was so good and so bad. Like I'd be at the front desk, and I would just be like, every single person that came in, I'd be like, here's my card. Like, what's good? Hit me up. I get this gear for free. So
Oh,
like, if you want, you could just literally hire me and I'll just get what you want.
that's perfect too for someone that wants to become like a DP and shit. That's
Hell
like a perfect job.
yeah. It's funny too, because I always actually wanted to be the director. My thing was I want to be a director. Um, but just people just prefer me to be a cinematographer. I take it as a compliment, but like it's hilarious. They're just like, oh, we want you to be the DP. I'm like, really? I'm like, yeah, dude. Like, I'm like, well, y'all don't want me to direct? They're like, no, we just want you to DP. I'm like, all right, well, I'll do both then because I want to fucking direct.
Oh, and there are definitely directors that take both roles, right?
Yeah, and you'll learn too, like which I'm sure you've learned from these roundtables and these guild interviews and stuff is like it all depends. Like some directors, like a Quentin Tarantino, like basically has everything storyboarded. Like
Mhm.
the cinematographer's just doing what he says. Like Quentin knows what shot he wants. He knows where he wants the camera and how he wants the lighting to look.
Mhm.
And the director of photography just does that for him. And then there's other cinematographers like Roger Deakins.
Oh
He
yeah, where he really like has
so Deakins said,
his
oh,
involvement in the story.
if you're 17 years old and you know who Roger Deakins is, I'd say you're on the right path, bro.
Yeah, Roger Deakins is definitely a really like
Like
his cinematography is
yeah,
fantastic.
like if he's on a film, he's telling you what it's gonna look like.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like like a director that hires him knows that he's not really taking he'll take suggestions, but like in the end, it's going where he wants it to go.
Yeah.
And like movies get made because of Roger Deakins. Like they'll try to get a movie and the actors won't sign on. But then, like for example, there's this movie Sicario. Have you heard of
Oh
that?
yeah, I know Cigar. That's a Dennis Villeneuve or
Yeah,
something like that.
Villeneuve or whatever. Yeah. So they work together a lot. They're really good together. But basically, he couldn't make the movie. No one wanted to do it because it was so violent.
Yeah, oh
It's
yeah, it's a very gory movie.
yeah, it's not like the movie itself isn't like amazing, but like visually, it's
Oh
amazing.
yeah, it was really
So he convinced Deakins to do it, and and everyone else was like, "Oh, you got Deakins? Like, I'll do like actors do movies just so they could have done a Deakins movie."
right. Just because of his reputation. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's just so good. He did like Shawshank, which is like one of the
Oh yeah, he did do Shawshank. I think my favorite from him was probably Blade Runner.
yeah. Visually, he went
It's
so hard.
just like the colors are just they pop out so much.
Yeah, dude. And the original Blade Runner is pretty crazy too. It's kind of hard to watch because old movies are just kind
Yeah,
of
like I haven't finished it just because it's hard to get into.
it's so slow. Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of movies are like that. But as you get better at cinematography, you'll learn to appreciate it more because you start to see things and you're just like, wait a minute, that's
Mhm.
pretty next
Oh, shit.
level.
Even just after watching all these behind the scenes of just these YouTube videos of analyzing movies and shit, I've taken it just for myself, just to kind of look at like, oh, that's a Dutch shot, that's a low angle, he's using a dolly and shit like that. So
Exactly. Yeah. And like, it's fun. I'm
oh
addicted.
yeah,
Like we'll sit around sometimes, at least before the pandemic. I've got a couple gaffers that I hire and we'll all like watch movies and we'll like try to guess the lensing and
oh that's sick.
I watch movies now and I can pretty much guess what camera they're using. I'm pretty good at that. And
Wow.
sometimes I can tell the lenses because there's really not that many. There's not that many
Yeah.
different cameras, at least on movies. There's only like 5 or 6 that they use. And like lenses, there's only like a few products that they use.
Hmm. Yeah, no, that's I'm really happy I was able to talk to you. Like you
Got you, bro.
gave me so much information.
Just keep doing it, bro. Try to do something with your friends. Like even if you don't show people,
Yeah.
like if you have a clique that's like your filmmaking clique, you guys need to get out there and shoot something. I
Oh,
don't.
Actually, we have the first short film that I was supposed to do for my art of video project was just like a silent short film. It could be like any genre, and I
Right.
got two of my other buddies that are really into film, and we made a short film that was actually like pretty good.
So y'all should try do it. Just keep doing it. Do it
Yeah,
again,
definitely.
just to stay busy because
Yeah,
like in the industry, if you're not like making something, then you're making nothing, you know. And like even if you don't show people, it's good to just go through the motions of doing it.
right.
And like you being still in literal high school gives you such a fucking advantage, bro. Like I wish the iPhone existed when I was in if iPhones existed when I was in 6th grade, I would be so much further ahead in the world.
Yeah, everyone's got 4K cameras now and shit. So
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we'll get to it, bro, and don't hesitate to hit me ever. You know, if you got any questions or anything, just shoot me a
yeah,
DM.
of course. Thank you so much. Kevin or Mr. D, like
Just call me Ken. Yeah,
Kevin. Okay, figured.
totally informal, all good, bro.
Well, thank you so much for just taking your time to just talk to me and shit.
Yeah, I got you, bro. Like I said, never hesitate to shoot a DM or tag me in something that you find interesting on the internet, and tell Mr. B I said what's good.
I will.
All right, homie. I'll let you go. I gotta hop in some meetings though.
Yeah, of
Oh,
course. Just you're you can leave whenever you want. I'm trying to figure out how to stop the recording.
I got you, bro. I'm gonna cut out. I'll talk to you soon though.
Peace out, man. Have a good one.